Hey, this is Russ Rogers, the creator of Move Today 365. You know, when I go back and I reflect about the movement that I created, and I think about all of the things that impacted my life, one of those stories was a time that I was traveling on the East Coast. I was hungry. It was about 1:30 in the afternoon. I was walking the streets of New York City. I went into this little pub and the downstairs was completely full. So they had some overflow seating. So I went upstairs. It was a fall day. College football was on. So I sat down and I was one of maybe 3 or 4 people in that upper room. So I sat down. I'm watching a little bit of college football and a family comes in and sits to my right side. It was a mom, a dad, a son, and a daughter. Kids were probably around 10, 12 years of age. And I noticed that on this fall day, they were all wearing jackets. They all sat down at the table. They took off their jackets. They sat down. And as they sat around the table, immediately, what happened? What happened was that each of them grabbed their phones, started to navigate, started to scroll, started to see what was on their phone, who had messaged them, whatever it may be, watching a reel. All 4 of them, mom, dad, brother, sister. You know, I was impacted by that because when I look at lives today, I think about all of the times that are spent scrolling and missing out on opportunities to spend and to connect with one another. That was an opportune time for mom and dad to sit down, to have a great time, have some conversation with son, with daughter, you know, with their kids. But it was an opportunity that was missed. And I'm not saying that, you know, they completely missed the mark on this day. But, you know, when I look at opportunities, these are times around the table that you can actually have some conversation. But the fact that all 4 of them immediately got on their phones said something to me. You know, I think about all of the people that I can identify with that, whether it's you, whether it's your wife, whether it's your kids, maybe even in your home. You know, creation of Move Today 365 is about intentional living. It's about spending time together. It's about connecting. It's about movement. It's about doing activities outside. Move Today 365 was created because of this. It was created about all around movement. It was created about connectivity. It was created from the concept that it's important for us to get away from devices, to get outside and to connect with one another, to connect with nature, to get away from these things that we spend so much time doing. You know, the thing about devices, it's a great tool, but we're not to abuse it. And in today's time, you know, you think about all of the time that we're watching movies, that we're scrolling through it, that we're watching these lives, we're reading emails. And I'm not saying that it's not a good tool to have because it's a great tool, but it's not to be abused. You know, everything is done correctly in moderation, whether it's food intake, whether it's exercise, or whether it's time spent watching television or time on our phones. You know, I wrote a book that I launched on May 18th of this year called Unplugged. Unplugged is about getting outside, disconnecting from devices. And when I think about the creation of Move Today 365, it's not just about one time per week. It's not about one time per month. It is the creation of moving what? Moving 365 days a year. It's important for even at the job that we get away for, you know, every 3 hours, we get away for 5 to 10 minutes and stretch our legs, get outside, catch some fresh air. But you know, the most important thing is that we disconnect daily. This is what Move Today 365 is about. It's about moving our bodies each and every day. Find 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes to get outdoors, to feel the fresh air, to feel the sun rays coming down on your face and getting our heart rate up. This is about it, but it's not just about movement. It's also about connectivity, connecting with others, be it your colleagues, be it your friends, be it your family. The most important thing that you can do is move and move together.